Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is Mass Transfer Operations 2. So in this lecture we will study about different kinds of reflux ratio. So before that, first of all, what is reflux? Your reflux ratio, it is ratio of the amount of liquid which is sent back to the main column to the amount of distillate which you are taking out as your overhead product, right? So that is your reflux ratio. Now the different kinds of reflux ratio are infinite reflux ratio, minimum reflux ratio, optimum reflux ratio. First of all, you can see the difference between these three. In your total reflux condition, which is also called as infinite reflux ratio, okay, that shows your maximum condition of reflux. It is a maximum limit which you can use. It gives you minimum number of plates which are required for desired degree of separation, and the reboiler duty is maximum for this ratio. The second one is minimum reflux. Here you can say that the infinite number of plates are required to achieve desired degree of separation, whereas the reboiler duty is what? It is minimum. For optimum reflux ratio, it operates on the optimum condition. Okay, here your economic aspects are also taken into account. So let's start with total reflux ratio. Here from figure you can see that your top product and bottom product, okay, the top and bottom product taken out as zero. It means for top, okay, all your vapors are condensed and all your liquid is sent back to the main column. Whereas for bottom product, all of your liquid is taken out, it is vaporized and again sent back to the column. It means you are taking out your product as zero, no distillate and residue is taken out. So that is the condition of your total reflux. Now, conceptually, that on your graph, when you take out the number of stages, right, you need to have the operating line of enriching section and stripping section. Here how reflux ratio increases the concentration. Let's see. See, as you increase the reflux ratio, it means you are increasing your driving force for mass transfer. Okay, there is more scope of separation possible from liquid to vapor phase if you are increasing your reflux ratio. At the end, what we are trying to do by providing reflux, that you are trying to create as much as contact between liquid and vapor. So here from graph you can see that as you increase the reflux ratio, it means your slope of enriching section of your operating line increases. You can see what is the slope here, R upon R plus 1. So if you are increasing the R value, it means the slope also increases. That means that further increasing R, it will cause into the merging of diagonal and operating line. Here you can see that for R3, your enriching section operating line has merged with diagonal. It means that that is the maximum limit of scope possible for the separation. Okay, driving force is maximum here. So it means that as R increases, the intersection point of enriching section and stripping section moves along the diagonal. Okay, it will merge at total reflux condition. So here you can see that in the figure that operating line of enriching section and stripping section, they both have merged with the diagonal. Okay, so that is the meaning of total reflux. Here you can say that R, what is R here? Reflux ratio. It means it is infinite. You can see from the analytic point of view, what is R? L by D. But here D value is what? 0. Hence L by 0 is what? Infinity. So the value of reflux ratio is what here? Infinity. At total reflux, your R value is what? Infinity. Whereas your slope is R upon R plus 1 of your operating line. That is equal to 1. Your slope of enriching section is what here? 1 at total reflux condition. So some of the important points for this reflux is that the reboiler duty is maximum here. Of course you can see from here, because you have to reboil all of your liquid into vapor. Hence more amount of load is there on your reboiler. The second is purity of product increases. Of course, when you are increasing your reflux ratio, you are creating more and more possibility between transfer of liquid and vapor. Okay, more amount of your more volatile component can be taken out from liquid. Hence purity of product increases because there is a wide scope of mass transfer to occur. And it is mainly used for startup condition. When you shut down your plant, okay, after shutting down, when the column has to be restarted, at that condition you are using your total reflux. Once desired level of separation has been achieved, okay, a desired operating condition has been settled, then you can change your reflux. But when you are starting your plant, total reflux is preferred. The next kind of reflux ratio is minimum reflux ratio. Of course, this is the opposite of your total reflux. Here as reflux ratio is reduced, it means your operating line moves towards the equilibrium. So from here figure you can say that R1 value, that shows you minimum reflux condition, because here the operating line has shifted towards your equilibrium curve, right? Hence the driving force decreases and thus limited amount of mass transfer occurs. You can see it is totally opposite to total reflux condition. Driving force decreases here, so there is very less scope of mass transfer to occur. It means to achieve desired degree of separation, now number of plates has been increased. So for example, you can see if your desired separation process is what? From 0.5 you have to increase it up to 0.9. Okay, so we are taking two conditions here. If at R equal to C, R equal to 6, okay, that is your first reflux condition, R equal to 6. Number of plates required is 5. Whereas now if you are reducing the reflux, you can see the number of plates has been increased. So you can say that for that, to enhance from 0.5 to 0.9, you can see how value of reflux affects. Okay, number of plates has been increased if you decrease your reflux ratio. Now at minimum reflux ratio condition, the operating line touches the equilibrium curve. Here you can see that pinch point. What is it? It is the intersection of operating line and the equilibrium curve. So that is your pinch point. You can see the operating line of both enriching and stripping section, they are intersecting with the equilibrium curve. It means the number of plates required here are what? Infinite. Because already equilibrium condition is there. It means there is no scope of mass transfer to occur at what condition? At minimum reflux ratio. Okay. So it means infinite number of plates are required here. Now the reboiler duties, of course it is minimum, because the liquid which you have to reboil again to vaporize, that would be very less, right? Hence your reboiler duty is less. Now the operating reflux ratio should always be more than reflux ratio. See, when you're designing your column, of course for finite number of trays only you design it. Okay, so minimum reflux ratio is the least point. Okay, it is the minimum value of above which you have to operate. So what you do, the operating reflux condition, okay, the operating reflux ratio at which you operate your column, it should always be more than that minimum value, that is minimum reflux ratio. Now how to calculate minimum reflux ratio? See, here feed is very important, okay, because at the end here you can see that the pinch point, that is the intersection of what? Operating line of both the lines and the feed line. So right, here are the 4 feed conditions which you have to deal. Okay, so for all the 4 conditions, the calculation of reflux ratio, of minimum reflux ratio is different. Have a quick revision here. For saturated liquid, your Q value is what? 1, whereas your slope is infinity. For saturated vapor, Q value is what? 0, and your slope is again 0. And your cold liquid, you can see Q value is more than 1 and slope is what? Positive. Whereas for partially vaporized, your Q value and slope both are in the between 0 to 1. So first of all, calculation of minimum reflux ratio for saturated liquid. So here you can see that this is your equilibrium curve, right? So first of all, first point is to start plotting your feed line. As your feed is saturated liquid, means it is parallel to y-axis, vertical. So you are plotting it from P point, that is your feed condition. At what? Like suppose 0.5 is my initial starting condition. So from 0.5, that is P, I will draw a vertical line. And point C, what is it? It is intersection of operating line of rectifying section and feed point. So that way you are plotting your both the lines. So at the point of intersection of feed line with the equilibrium curve, that is your intersection of operating line at minimum reflux. So that C point, that shows you the minimum reflux condition. Okay. Now here we need to find RM value. What is? We need to find the minimum reflux ratio, right? Here we are clear with the slope of operating line of enriching section, right? So you know what is the slope of enriching section, that is R upon R plus 1. Okay. Now your slope, it is again graphically, mathematically talking, it is difference in y-axis upon difference in x-axis. So that way you can see Rm upon Rm plus 1, that is also your slope value. Okay. That is equal to, now try to see from the graph, delta y from y-axis C, xt minus yf, that is your delta y upon delta x, change in x-axis, okay, that is xt minus xf. So your slope of enriching section, okay, it is Rm upon Rm plus 1, that is also equal to delta y upon delta x, and from graph you can see xt minus yf upon xt minus yf, xf, okay. So So Rm upon Rm plus 1 is what? Slope, which is equal to Xt minus Yf upon Xt minus Xf. This is what minimum reflux ratio slope for saturated liquid, okay? So this way you have to calculate. Hence now Rm is what? Xt minus Yf upon Yf minus Xf. You don't need to learn this value. Just try to remember from the graph how you have to calculate, okay? Just plot the graph, okay? Because it is feed is what? Saturated liquid, hence vertical angle there, and you have to plot the C. The C is what? Intersection point of operating line of rectifying section and your feed line, and from that coordinates are obtained, okay? Now calculate the slope of enriching section. Again, what is it? R upon Rm plus 1, okay? That we do from graph. If saturated vapor is there, now see, again plot the C point, that is the intersection of feed line and the enriching section, okay? Here you can see your feed line is what? It is horizontal because Q is what? 0. So now you can see similarly what is slope? Rm upon Rm plus 1 for enriching section, that is equal to, now see, from y-axis xd minus y dash upon xt minus x dash, okay? You have to take the coordinates of your C point, okay? Because we need to find minimum reflux ratio. Hence the coordinates will be what? Of C point. That is the intersection. So that way you get your Rm value. Now here don't get confused. Here see, y dash is equal to xf. You can see from the graph, okay? Your feed point from P you can see. That is because your feed is what? Vapor. That is parallel to the x-axis. Hence your xf will be equal to y dash. Now similarly for cold liquid, what is your Q value? It is greater than 1. Again, see the point of intersection here is what? C is what? Point of intersection between operating line of enriching section and the feed line. Okay, you can see your feed line, the slope is what? Positive. Now what is slope of enriching section? Rm upon Rm plus 1 at minimum reflux ratio. So now slope is again what? You can see the coordinates. Xt minus y dash, that is your what? Change in y coordinates, okay, in the y coordinates, upon xt minus x dash. So simple, from that Rm value is what? Xt minus y dash upon y dash minus x dash. See, you don't have to remember all, just learn graphically how your point of intersection is coming, and based on that take the coordinates of your intersection point and your XD point, okay, your distillate composition. So based on that only you have to remember how to evaluate the slope value first of all, and from slope only you can get your Rm value, because your slope is what? Rm upon Rm plus 1. Now for partially vaporized feed, the situation is same again here. First of all, locate the C point, intersection between enriching section and feed line. Here you can see the coordinates are different. So again, what is slope here? Rm upon Rm plus 1. You can see delta y, what is it? Difference between the coordinates of y in y-axis. So what is it? Xt minus y dash upon xt minus x dash. Okay, thing is totally simple. Graphically when you will solve, you will get to know how it is calculated. Now talking about optimum reflux ratio. So first of all, what is optimum reflux ratio? It is defined as the reflux ratio at which the total cost. Now your total cost is what? Fixed cost plus operating cost. Okay. Fixed cost is what? Your column. Okay. Your column diameter, because it is the diameter is more, than your fixed cost will increase. Okay. Your column. Then plates. Those are included in your fixed cost. Now operating cost is what? Heating and cooling, that reboiler and condenser tubing, those are included in your operating cost. So this total cost of your distillation column is minimum. So that is your optimum reflux ratio. Okay, so at the end you want to find a minima for everything. Now here you can see that at Rm, infinite stages are required. What is Rm? At minimum reflux ratio, you can see when your reflux ratio is minimum, you can see the stages are what? N is what stages? That is maximum, infinite. Now as you increase the reflux ratio up to infinity, you can see that your number of plates decreases. Okay, so that is the relation between reflux ratio and number of stages for distillation column. Now this is the graph of reflux ratio versus cost. So you can see here, first of all, as you increase the reflux, okay, number of plate decreases, it means your fixed cost is what? First of all decreasing, right? But as reflux ratio increases, then your operating cost also increases, right? We studied that reboiler duty increases. So you can see that operating cost, it increases linearly. Okay. Now further increase in reflux ratio will what happen, that your fixed cost will also increase now, because large diameter of column is required, right? So you can see that fixed cost, it first decreases then increases. So you have to find the minima. So you have to operate a column at that minima reflux ratio at which your total cost is minimum. So you can see that the total cost, okay, when it is minimum, so that is your reflux ratio. So analytically, if talking about, your R optimum is what? 1.1 to 1.5 times your R minimum. So in exam they can ask you that find the optimum reflux ratio. And so first we have to what to do? You have to find the minimum reflux ratio, and then you have to use this equation that your optimum reflux ratio is what? It is 1.1 to 1.5 times your minimum reflux ratio. Now that was about today's lecture. In next lecture we will continue with reboiler and vacuum distillation. That was our today's lecture. Thank you.